What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. And I'm back with another incredible guest. So sit back, relax, and tune in. My next guest is an empowerment coach. You know, I love that. And she's the founder of She Glows Untamed. Please welcome Teresa Bowser. Teresa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. I mean, like I said before, I just love the name. She Glows Untamed. Can you tell us like where that came from?
Absolutely. So, my whole story is I went through a lot of hard times growing up, and I always lived caged within myself. I didn't share what I was going through with anybody. I struggled with eating disorders.
Mm,
My whole existence and my whole life, I went through a lot of abusive relationships. I was in substance abuse, and on the outside looking in, I had my life together. I
sure.
was president of the honor society like in college, and
Wow.
I had everything that other people wanted, and I was succeeding on
Yeah.
paper, but inside I didn't feel like I was succeeding. I felt like I was constantly fighting, climbing through the trenches, always knowing that I wasn't supposed to be where I was at, but I didn't know the next step forward. So I just like my chest was always tight. I just felt caged in.
Yeah.
And through the process of really becoming aware and honoring multiple things in my life and almost having like this deep awakening, I became like untamed and on
I
a
love
run
it.
one day. That word just came to me and I was like, that's it. Like
Mm.
out of the cage and becoming untamed. And it just skyrocketed from there. And here I am.
I love it. Well, congratulations on overcoming so much. And I
Thank
feel
you.
like there's so many people that are quietly struggling with a lot of those things that you mentioned. And, either they have an awakening or they're caged for a very long time. So that's so beautiful the way that you put that. And I resonate with the name of your business because, I've been through my own stuff and that's why
I
we're
love
label free.
that. I
So,
love that. And I had a feeling you could resonate reading your story and just following you as well. And it's an amazing place to be at, being so aware and free
yeah.
from those things that just kept you trapped for so long.
And now overcoming all that, is that what made you become an empowerment coach? Like what did that journey look like?
It did. So I became a trail runner. Like through my journey, I got into fitness and that started to heal me. And then I got into trail running. And what really shaped me was I was on this run one day, and this is where like everything just exploded. I realized that I was searching and like striving and fighting to be this person that I didn't want to be. I
Mm,
always didn't want to be her. I didn't want to be this perfectionist. I didn't want to have this disorder. I didn't want to be like stuck in trauma. And I was riding with a group of girls for the first time, and they were just exuding so much joy and
mm,
passion. They were strong. And I was like, I want that.
yeah,
And that's when it hit me that I could strive to become something in the future that I wasn't yet instead
yeah,
of fighting to be somebody that I didn't want to be. And my whole mind shifted. And that
sure.
took me through this deep, deep journey of over almost 2 years. And I started to work through these principles and really seeing these patterns that I was taking myself through and having these breakthroughs. And I was like, if I can do this coming from where I was, then anybody can do this. Like if
Sure.
I can do this, and I started speaking about it and started talking to my friends and becoming more open. And I realized that I'm not the only person going through
Yeah.
this. And helping other women realize that they can break free from this too. And it lives inside of them already. Like it's not something that you have to create or like you can grow it, but it's there. You just need to tap into it. Has been the most beautiful experience.
And when you say a breakthrough, like, can you kind of like explain what that looked like for you and what kind of breakthrough was? Because I think we have multiple breakthroughs at different times in our lives, right? Depending on like what growth phase we're in, and it can mean something different for everybody. And so, can you share like what that looked like for you?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest ones was me overcoming the eating disorder.
Okay.
The food part was I recovered from that, but the mentality of it kept me stuck for so long because I didn't know left from right.
Hmm.
I didn't know if it was still like the eating disorder mentality. Like my whole life, it was 3 decades. It was almost 30 years of
Oh,
living through
wow.
this. So the lens that I had looked through life at for the majority of my life was so skewed. And really honing in on these tools and principles and having the freedom to explore these different thoughts and say, what if? Like,
Sure.
what if I did this? And what if I looked in the mirror this way? Like, what would that mean? It just opened up a whole new world of possibilities for me because, again, like I was so trapped and caged in this
Yeah.
mindset for so long, I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I was just floating through life. So I did this really big run, and it was the Georgia Death Race, and you have to carry this railroad spike with you. So it's a
Oh,
1 pound
wow.
railroad spike, and it's over 74 miles
Holy
in it.
cow.
So it's a 74-mile race. And what it represents is a burden that you're carrying with you. And it's 1 pound. And
Yeah.
it's comfortable, it's weird, it's in your pack. But over the course of those 74 miles, that 1 pound,
It's
you
very
start
heavy.
to feel it. You start
Yeah.
to feel like it's like, oh man, that's in my back. And at the end, there's this coffin. So you cross the finish line, you drop the railroad spike in the coffin, and it symbolizes that you're bearing this burden.
Wow.
And still, at this point in time, I hadn't said anything about my past to anybody. Like, I hadn't spoken about it. It was still mine, but that was my burden. I said, once I finish this race, I'm done. I'm
Wow.
done. Like,
That's powerful.
yeah, and I did it. And 2 months later, I went on a podcast just to talk about the race. And I walked in and I said, I have something to say. And I shared for the first time ever. So my
Yeah.
mom found out on a podcast that I've been struggling with substance abuse, abusive
So you had
relationships.
never talked, because that was gonna be my next question. Did you ever talk to anybody like you going through these struggles?
Wow, never went to therapy,
Wow.
never went to anything. So I walked in, I was like, I'm gonna say something. And talking on that podcast that day, it just, I mean,
Yeah.
I was a whole new person leaving because I could live in truth. Like I could actually live who I was. And from there, everything just kept getting better and better and better.
Because it's very therapeutic, right? Like, so it's like you like symbolically you drop that burden, right? Doing that race. And I think that's so powerful. It gave me chills. But then when you're able to actually like speak your truth, it's almost very healing and cathartic at the same time. So like you very wow, very powerful. That's a great story. Like you should
Yeah,
write
I
almost
felt
like a book on that and like how what that looked like. So seriously, because I mean,
yeah.
how many women that you work with, and I'm sure you work with more women as an empowerment coach, right? That are struggling with the same things that don't talk about it. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, I talk about everything. I'm always talking, but it's just like that you're such a beacon of light and of hope for other people that might be struggling with the same thing.
And something I'm so passionate about with just in life and anybody who I come across is tapping into the courage that lives with inside of you.
Yeah.
Because if we all think it's confidence and it's not, like nobody actually has confidence. Like you have this courage that lives inside of you. We all have it. And if you just tap into it, you're
Yeah.
able to just come up to the edge and see yourself differently and just go a little bit deeper, cross that edge, have that breakthrough, and then do it again, and then
Yeah.
do it again. In like every obstacle, because just like we were saying before the podcast, life's, and it doesn't matter how much you do this work,
Yeah.
you're going to continue rinse and repeat. But if you know that that courage lives inside of you and
Yeah.
you don't have to search for it and on all these external circumstances and stuff, it just gives you this sense of just like, I can do this. Like I can just
Yeah.
be.
And it gives you that experience and that wisdom. So for you, I almost feel like you had to go through some of these challenges and struggles so that you could be relatable for people that you're going to help and coach, right? I mean, because if you didn't have that experience, how are you able to really um relate to someone that is going through something similar?
Absolutely. And it's so easy to say, man, I wish that didn't happen. I wish,
Oh,
I started earlier. I wish I started this journey. Like, oh, you're so lucky for starting in your 20s. You have it all
yeah.
together. But would I be here talking about it today? Would I be able to have the ripple effect that me and you both have from our experiences?
Yeah.
It's such a ripple effect. And people want realness,
Yeah. Oh, starving for it.
Yeah, and I think it's a gift. I think it's a gift of what you do, and to be able to speak about it now, it's a
Yeah.
blessing.
Yeah. I was kind of reading about something, and like once you realize like everything has happened for you, they call that integration, right? And so if you're able to look back and the experiences that you had, good, bad, indifferent, ugly, whatever, and then you actually look at it like, oh, this happened for me to get to where I am today. They call that integration. And so I posted something on my Facebook the one night, and because I was just reading, and I'm like, oh, when I realized that it, I'm integrating my life now, or become, I forget what I posted, but you know what I'm saying. It's very
Yeah.
powerful. Like when you're able to get to that point, because this is just recent for me. Like I actually was like, whoa, all this happened for me to get to me to get. It just makes sense. It all lines up, and that's a
Mhm.
very, very powerful place to finally get to.
It is. And one of my things when I first started this was I just kept telling myself I wanted to stand tall. Like
Mm,
that was like this physical but metaphorically thing too. And it was just every day I'm like, I'm gonna stand tall. I'm gonna
I
stand
love it.
tall. And one day in the kitchen, I was making coffee and it just like I had this like energy bolt, like almost like a bolt of lightning come into me. And I was like, I'm standing tall.
Yeah,
And it was like in these minute little moments. And I think so many of us, and it's so easy to get caught up to have those little aha, like you're just like this integration. Oh my gosh, it's happening.
yeah, yeah,
We we don't like we take it with a grain of salt and then just go on with our day.
yeah,
Like nudges and these talks and like just these little moments, those are so bold and they compound and they mean so much. Like it's so easy just to be like, oh, okay, cool, I'm standing tall, and then like da 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 da
yeah,
da da. But like if you just really like, whoa, that's
yeah,
you, and
yeah.
pat yourself on the back, celebrate those things. I always tell my clients, celebrate everything because you got to build that evidence bucket. And once you have that evidence bucket like
I
overflowing, you're
love
like,
that.
I did that. I did that. Yes, I can do that again, you know?
I love that evidence bucket. That's a good term. So let's kind of like shift gears and talk about working with clients. And so what does that I always like to ask my coaches, what does that look like, and who is your ideal avatar of person that you're going to work with that you typically help and guide them to empower them?
Absolutely. So, being an athlete, being an ultra trail runner, I naturally attract a lot of runners, but
Okay.
it's just not about running.
Sure.
I do have clients that aren't runners, or maybe they want to get into running, but I like to attract those who are either on their journey of just discovering or they're so successful, but they know there's something
They're
more.
missing. Yeah.
So there's two, and that's how almost like where I was, bothly, because I know I had a lot of growth, but then at the same time, on the outside looking in, I had everything that most people wanted. But I always knew like there's always this nudge of wanting more. So when I work with them, I come in where they're at
Okay.
and then really want to identify like who they want to become. And
Mm,
that's the first, that is the foundation because like in my experience, I kept looking back. Like I didn't want to
sure.
be, so my whole mindset was negative almost of like,
Mm,
how can I not be that? But what if we flip the script and look at who we can become
yeah.
and enjoy the journey. So we go through multiple different stages of, tackling old limiting beliefs and creating power moves and how we can start to flip the meaning of our thoughts and just really know that if you have that moment of saying, I want to be her, you already are her. Like you're
Yeah.
capable. If that came to your mind, it doesn't matter what it is, then we can work towards it and just continuous like support and whatever they need in the moment. We just work through it.
Is that where the empowerment piece comes in? Because I feel like we use that term kind of loosely, but I feel like even in today's world, 2026, women are still lacking that empowerment piece. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's always like a work in process or progress, whatever you want to say. Like we're always trying to like we'll reach like a level where we're feeling like empowered, and then like you said, life happens, life is lifing, and it kind of like knocks us back, and then it's like we have to rebuild. So it's almost like a muscle that we just keep exercising over and over and over again, and just kind of create that habit to just to know and feel empowered no matter what happens.
It is. And stepping into that fear, like that is such a huge thing. Like the courage and the fear, you're going to hear, if you're working with me, you're going to hear me talk about that all the time. Tapping into that courage and stepping into the fear
Yeah.
constantly over and over and over. I live my life in fear almost, but in a good way. Like fear
Mm,
does not have to always mean that you're about to jump off a cliff and have
sure.
this like anxiety. Fear, if you change the meaning of it, it can be the most exciting, exhilarating thing that's happening to you because it you're moving forward. You're stepping
Yeah.
into something new, which means you are stepping into your future self. We're so used to living in our old patterns. We're so used to just showing up day to day how we always have been. So we don't even really notice that we're doing it. So when we have to retrain our body, retrain our mind, it's scary. But
Yeah.
why can't it be exciting scary? Why can't it be like, oh, like
It's
nervous?
growth, right? You look at
Yeah,
it like
it's
growth.
growth. And that's where the empowerment comes. Like, it's okay to have these feelings. You're supposed to have these feelings.
Yeah.
If you didn't have these feelings, I'd be like, are you human? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
I can totally relate with that. I do things on a daily, I try to do something daily that scares me. In a good way, like you said, like going to a meeting that's maybe I had a meeting with so I'm not sure if you know this, but I think I shared it with you. I launched a magazine, which was a little, very, very difficult. And it was very scary, but every meeting got better and better and easier and easier. And like just recently I had a meeting with Dior and like that was like I'm like, am I worthy to go into Dior to
Ew.
you know what I mean? And so it was just like I try to always like challenge myself to continue to elevate and rise above and face those fears and those insecurities, right?
Mhm.
Because it's insecurity no matter what. I mean, I could be a freaking billionaire and I probably still have some insecurities that I need to face daily to overcome and to just to know that I am worthy and that I'm valuable and I deserve the opportunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And everybody does. Like we're on this light or on this world for a reason. Like
Yeah,
why continue to live a life that you don't want to live? Like create
yeah,
the life you want to crave daily. Like every single day. Yes, some days are going to be harder. Some days you're struggling. I've been there too. I have been in the trenches and like
yeah,
every day is not going to be easy, but you can work towards creating that life that you want every single day in the small moments. And those small moments just, I mean, they just start to
yeah.
multiply. You just start to hold on to them.
So when you work with somebody, how long do you typically work with them for? Do you have a certain amount of time? Because everybody grows and learns and evolves at different paces, right? So like an average time frame that you work with your clients.
I have a 2 week sprint. So
Oh,
for those individuals, if they have like a single goal and they're rocking and rolling, like I need clarity now. I know what I want. I just need this
I
help.
love that.
Sprint or 6 weeks. So 6 weeks, I love the
Okay,
6 weeks because we get to really dive in. We get to take our time. They might come in with something. A lot of them come in with something, and then by th week 3, it's completely
completely
different because
different.
we
Yeah.
have uncovered so much more. So it takes a lot more in-depth conversations, and we get to really play and explore and stuff. So I love the 6 weeks. The 2 weeks is fun though too
Yeah.
because those ladies, they come in, they're ready to hit the ground running, and that's really fun.
Well, I love the name 2 week sprint because it kind of is in alignment with the running part.
Yeah.
Do you have maybe a success story of somebody that you've worked with that maybe stands out you'd want to share with us? Kind of like a before and afters?
Yeah, I have actually, I'm going to shout her out right now because she just checked in with me last night. One of my current clients right now, she came in just completely overwhelmed. She knew what she wanted,
Yeah,
but she was so forecasted on all of these bigger things. Not in a bad way, but it was just like, I have so much. How am I even gonna get to here?
sure,
Like almost overwhelmed of I can't do anything, stuck, paralyzed. And over the course of like the first week, we really just nitpicked and like dialed it down, got really detailed, like, okay, like what actually does this mean?
sure.
And yes, was it yesterday? 2 days ago. But she described herself as a bamboo shoot. And I was like, I love this. She's like, I'm in the ground. I'm in the dirt. I'm building my foundation. She's like, did you know it takes almost 5 years for bamboo to grow? But when you look at bamboo, you're just like, where did that come from?
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
that's what I'm doing right now. She's like, oh my gosh, like I'm in the dirt and I feel it. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like you just had the biggest revelation because she's like, and then on this like area of my life, it's okay because I'm this sprout. And like her realization and for her to like see how she's blossoming at different
Yeah.
rates, different times, and now she's settled in it. Now she's unstoppable
It's
now.
powerful.
She's not paralyzed anymore. She's hitting the ground running. She has conquered like her running goals that she set forward. So I'm just so proud of her. And that was 2 days ago. So
I love
shout out
that.
to you if you're listening, you know who you are.
I love the analogy and it's very powerful, especially when someone comes to that point. With that being said, Teresa, where can people find you, connect with you, and learn more about working with you?
Instagram is the best way. So it's Teresa Bowser _.
Perfect. Okay. And website is sheglowsuntamed.com.
Yes, ma'am.
You guys, I'm gonna put those links in the show notes, and if you're watching this, it'll be here on the screen. So don't hesitate to give her a follow on Instagram if you're interested in learning more on working with her and learning to become a bamboo sprout. Then go ahead and click the link, go set up a call, and love to hear where you guys take it. Teresa, this is the part of the show where I like to ask for last words of wisdom or advice. What would you like to leave with us today?
You've kind of heard me tap into this, but everybody has that courage. If you are standing at that edge, if you don't know where to go, you don't have to look anywhere further. It's already inside of you.
Yeah.
It's living inside of your heart. Just look inward, tap into the courage that you already have, and just make one move, and
Mm.
your whole life will start to change.
I love it. Well, Teresa, thank you so much for sharing your story and being courageous to tell people like what some of your struggles because it gives other people the courage to do the same, because once we're able to lay those difficulties, those, vices, the monkey on our back, when we're able to lay it at our feet and let people hold us accountable, it allows us to step into the light and the person that we're supposed to become. So thank you so much for what you do.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for what you do too. It's amazing. So I appreciate you.
Yes. All right, girl. With that being said, you guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, share, all those good things.